everyone! Did you know that Jews around the world tend to avoid the hindquarters of any meat that they are eating? This is because there was once a man who was poked in his hip socket of that particular tendon, and because of that, he had a limp. Welcome back to the Bible Alive series. This episode, Jacob wrestles with God. See this man? The man I was talking about was Jacob. And this is his limping leg. Do you want to find out what happened? Let's go.
Remember we talked about Jacob and Esau last week? Although they were twins, they were very different from each other, both in looks and personality. Jacob was the younger twin, so Esau, being the firstborn, was supposed to get both the physical inheritance, called the birthright, as well as the spiritual inheritance, the inheritance of the promised Messiah. Now, Jacob knew that he would get both the physical and spiritual inheritance. Why? He was told of the prophecy that the older will serve the younger. But Jacob was impatient. He couldn't wait for God to fulfill the prophecy. He decided to trick Esau for his birthright, and he tricked his father Isaac for the spiritual blessing too. This made Esau very angry. So angry, he wanted to kill Jacob. Because of this, Jacob had to run away from his home. Many years had passed. Now, Jacob was an older man with 4 wives and 12 children. It was a long time since he told God he was sorry for being impatient, for lying, and stealing his birthright. One day, God called him to go back to his home. Jacob was worried. He was afraid that Esau was still angry with him and still wanted to kill him. To make matters worse, he heard that Esau was coming to him with 400 people. That's like a whole army. Jacob was troubled. That night, he sent his family ahead of him with gifts to appease Esau while he stayed behind to pray. Late in the night, a man came to Jacob. They began to wrestle. It was a tough fight, and it lasted all night long. Soon, the sun was coming up. When the man saw that he could not win the fight, he poked Jacob in the hip socket, causing Jacob to limp. But Jacob held on more tightly. The man said, "Let me go." Jacob, knowing this man must come from God, said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." "What is your name?" the man asked. Jacob replied, "Jacob. From now on, you will be called Israel, because you have fought with God and man and have overcome." You see, the meaning of Israel is God fights. Jacob realized he was fighting with God the whole night. That changed Jacob. He no longer had to be afraid and run away from Esau anymore, because God is with him and God fights for him.
And that's how Jacob got his limp. Now, I'll teach you how to make this craft.
You will need a copy of this printout from the link below, color pencils, a craft stick, a split pin, glue, and scissors. Have you ever done something wrong and felt bad about it later on? Did you tell your teacher or your parents about how sorry you were? Yet, even after you told them, and even after they say they forgive you, there is still this uneasy feeling in the bottom of your stomach. This feeling is called guilt. But whenever you see Jacob's limping leg, remember that God has long forgiven Jacob. Like Jacob, you don't have to be burdened with guilt anymore. When God forgives you, He forgets too.